1 2 1 2. All right, all right.
Definitely. Okay.
Bear with me 1 second, y'all. Sorry for that slight technical difficulty that we was having. Some you know what I'm saying, technical difficulties.
I can be killed? Why are ultimate
Some slight technical difficulties. Bear with me 1 sec. Bear with me 1 sec. Adding in these sign-in sheets.
Oh.
Bear with me 1 quick sec, man. Don't forget to share. If you have any questions, type them on in. Any questions, type them on in. I'll be able to see them. Give y'all a couple seconds to do that. Alright. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah to all my brothers, Yahweh Shema Alatah Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah to all my sisters. This is the ISUPK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And what we do is we teach the Black, Hispanic, and Native people that they are God's true and only chosen people, and with them being God's true and only chosen people comes with a set of responsibilities. Those responsibilities is to follow the law, which dictates us on how to love each other properly. See, the law was given to nothing but the Black, Hispanic, and Native people. You know what I'm saying? Contrary to popular belief. You know what I'm saying? That's all in the scriptures. And I'm going to give y'all some time to type in y'all questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to write in the first scripture. If you got any questions, type them on in. You got any questions, type them on in. Alright. Today's class we're going to get into is considered a controversial topic nowadays. It's considered to be outrageous. I made a post about it. Next thing you know, that joint's over 7,000 comments.
Oh my God.
One post, over 7,000 comments. You know what I'm saying? And the subject is interracial relationships. That's what it's about. Today we're going to get into it, see what God thinks about it, see what's the custom of the Israelites, God's chosen people. You know what I'm saying? So if you got any questions, type them on in. But the first scripture we're going to go into is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. If you're there, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. in our reading. For God is not the author of confusion. Let me put it like this. God is not the author of confusion. And that's what this type of subject in today's world brings about. Nothing but confusion. Back in the day, there was no confusion about it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew who they're supposed to be with, so forth and so on. They knew when they do break that law, they still knew who that child belonged to. There wasn't no such thing as mulatto or mixed race you are or the seed of your father. Everybody knew that back then. Now there's confusion. You know what I'm saying? And if there was a war to break out right now, a lot of people wouldn't know which side to choose, because the simple fact is of that confusion. So to break that confusion, what you need to do is just simply start following the law, statutes, and commandments of God. If everybody that you marry is an Israelite, then you don't have no problems or any worries about what is supposed to be done. You won't have any problems or worries about who your child belongs to, what child is, you're producing. There would be no confusion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to read that from the top again. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. See, when you start following the law, statutes, commandments, you are at peace. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no worries. You don't have to worry about, losing your life for breaking his laws. You don't have none of those worries like everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? When you are following the law, statutes, and commandments, you could just sit back, relax. You know what I'm saying? And everything will be kosher. Your kids will know what nation they belong to. They wouldn't be teased or bullied, because it would be a common understanding amongst the people. But following a nation of people whose whole purpose is confusion. Their whole purpose is to deceive and cause all types of anarchy. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They cause anarchy within their lies and deceits and pushing their practices on to other nations. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? That's what our enemy does. And these are the people that you want to lay with. You know what I'm saying? So when you are reading this, understand two things. When we go through this class today, understand two things. First, the law only applies to Israelites, Black, Hispanic, and Native people. So when I'm telling you that interracial relationship is a sin, it's to those people. Black, Hispanic, and Native American people should not be having interracial relationships with nations that are outside of them. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing is, God is not the author of confusion. And that's what interracial relationships bring upon us, is confusion. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. We're going to go to the first verse. The second verse of this class, but the first verse straight to the subject. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I put it up there. Now follow along. You know what I'm saying? Follow along. It's Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 2. This is the very simplest way you could put this. You know what I'm saying? This goes back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? But let's get with it. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee. See, the Most High delivered our enemies before us. The Most High power of Israel, the Most High power of Black, Hispanic, and Native people delivered our enemies before us. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. That's the only dealings we should be having with our enemies. The only dealings we should be having with our enemies is to smite them and utterly destroy them. What else? What other purpose do they have? What other purpose do we have with them? You know what I'm saying? There's no other purpose we should have with them other than to smite and destroy them. Let's continue. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. We shall not make no covenant with them or show mercy unto them. Like, put people like this back in the day, a lot of marriages were made to cause peace. A lot of marriages were made between one nation and the other. And when that family unites, that means those two nations are at peace. We are not to be at peace with them. With none of them. Because they are definitely showing they are not at peace with us. They are for sure showing they are not at peace with us. You know what I'm saying? Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. We shall surely not make marriages with them. For sure, not make marriages with them. We should not make marriages with them. What does that mean? See, when you look into the Bible, what is marriage according to the Bible? The marriage according to the Bible is intercourse. We should not be having intercourse with them. We should not be trusting them. We should not even be friends with them. They are our enemies. They have proven to be our enemies. They will kill you in the street right now. They are doing it right now. You shall not make marriages with them. You know what I'm saying? And this is not my words. These are all in the Bible. These ain't even my words at all. But let's continue. Thy daughter thou shalt not take, thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. We shall not be giving our kids unto this man, nor should we be marrying them, nor should we allow our kids to marry them. We should not be doing that. It's cut and dry right there. You know what I'm saying? It's cut and dry right there. That's about as simple as it gets. Now, a lot of y'all would like to say, a lot of y'all in that post I made would like to bring up the point of why we shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Why? And it's a very important point. You know what I'm saying? I understand. But why shouldn't be a factor when it comes to the Lord's law. It shouldn't even be an issue. You should just do it because the Lord told you to do it. But let's get into why. Let's get into why a bit. Salakia. Verse 4. For they will turn thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. Now peep it. They shall surely turn you, your son, your daughter's children, because she definitely going to have a heathen. You know what I'm saying? If the father's a heathen, the baby's a heathen. They definitely going to turn all of them against God. That's a guarantee. That's the effect. That's the effect of being in an interracial relationship. That's that confusion. You know what I'm saying? That's that confusion right there. You're going to have mixed cultures, and now the baby's confused. The household is nothing but a ball of confusion. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. That they may serve other gods. You get with an Asian woman. You get with an Asian woman, next thing you know, your child's into Taoism or Buddhism or whatever else they serve. You know what I'm saying? They're going to start eating all types of dog, cat, and rat. They're going to start following all types of customs of the Asians. You get with a Caucasian woman, your son's going to be rocking a Christian cross, going to be participating in all types of orgies, doing things Christians do. Because that's what Caucasians do. And you will be a partaking in that. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. The Most High's anger is going to be kindled against you. And there's many examples, many laws about this, many stories about interracial relationships and how God's anger was kindled against the children of Israel because of it. The most popular one is the flood. The flood was done because of interracial relationships. Some people like to say the sons of God is talking about Nephilims, or some people like to say it's talking about angels, or no. It's talking about men of stature, very popular men, giant men, men of great reputation. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about. It's talking about that. You know what I'm saying? But hold on. Salaki, bear with me one second. If you can, share this class. And remind you, this is a class, so I will be asking y'all questions too. I definitely will be asking y'all questions. Alright? But let's drop that. Let's get with the next verse real quick. Now the next one's in. Now we're gonna skip to it. Let's go to Nehemiah 13. And we're gonna start with verse 23.
But you got reversed.
And we're gonna start there. We're gonna bang it out with this one, right? Give y'all some time to catch up. It's in the Old Testament, if y'all don't know. But let's get with it. If you're there, follow along. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews, that's the black, Hispanic, and Native people, that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. Now, it could be a long breakdown on, you know what I'm saying, going to the names of these other nations, but just know we're talking about Asians right here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Asia. I can't remember exactly Ashdod, but Ammon and Moab. I know Moab is the Chinese and in that region, like Korea and all that. And Ammon is like Japan and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Those are like the children of Lot. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Verse 24. And the children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language. Now you are a child, and your child can't even speak your language. What does that sound like today? Type it in. What does that sound like today? Whose children can't speak their native language? Who can't speak their language? They're speaking languages of other people. Who's doing that? If you know the answer to who's doing that, type it on in. Who's doing that nowadays? Who don't have their own language? They're speaking languages of other people. Who does that? Do those Israelis, aka Jewish people, do that? Nah, they got some form of Hebrew called Assyrian Hebrew that they speak, aka Yiddish. You know what I'm saying? How about Russians? Do Russians do that? Nah, they speak Russian. But there's black people that speak Russian too. Black, Hispanic, and Native people are the only people that speak other people's languages and don't speak their own. And that was the problem with mingling with these other nations, having dealings with these other nations. because your children would do the same. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. But according to the language of each people, verse 25, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them. He contended with them. I mean, he's arguing with them. He's arguing with these other Jewish men. This prophet Nehemiah is arguing with these other Jewish men. You know what I'm saying? He cursed them. He's cursing them out. You know what I'm saying? Wishing the worst upon these men. And he even smoked certain of them. Who knows what it means to smoke? If you know what it means to smoke, type it on in. If you know what it means to smoke, type it in. You know what it means to smoke, type it on in. Right? Nobody knows what it means to smoke. To smoke means either beaten or kill. It means roughing somebody up or even killing them. Because smote is the past tense of smite. You know what I'm saying? So he even smote certain of those men and plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, look, he beat them up. He beat up these men of Israel, his own people, that was laying with other women that was not Israelite women, breaking God's law. We read the law earlier. So Nehemiah was literally beating these men's behinds. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Raphael. Smite is to kill. That's right. He was beating these men's behinds, beating them up, pulling their hair out, just jamming them up because they were breaking God's law. You know what I'm saying? And he made them promise, and this is what they promised. Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons. Like they already had marriages with these heathens. So now they got to make a promise that this stops with them. That this will not continue with them. They will not be allowing their kids to continue that abomination. You know what I'm saying? So he's telling these men that they got to swear that they will not give their daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons. That's what they had to promise. You know what I'm saying? Or for yourselves. And you can't get another woman that's not of your nation. You can't even get another heathen. You got one, you got to keep that one. But you can't get another one. And those kids, they got to stay with their people too. He beat them up and made them promise that. That's some hardcore stuff, man. But let's continue. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Didn't King Solomon commit those same sins? Didn't King Solomon marry a whole bunch of heathen women that drove him mad, had him following their gods, mixing up philosophies? That's what happened with King Solomon. That was King Solomon's sin, marrying a bunch of heathen women. No. I know the Christian church like to say it was because he had a bunch of women. No, that's not it. A man can have as many women as he pleases. What it was that King Solomon had heathen women. He chose heathen women instead of women of his nation. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Who was beloved. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me bring it back. Sent by these things, yet among many nations was there no king like him. There was no king like King Solomon. The second wisest king Israel ever had. The wisest being Christ. King Solomon was the second wisest king. He was a great king. He just couldn't control his lust for heathen women. You know what I'm saying? Believe me, I'm no better than him. That's King Solomon. I ain't nothing. That's why we got to stay on our toes and teach each other these laws so we won't follow the same, break the same laws as our ancestors did and follow their footsteps. That's the point of us teaching this law class. You know what I'm saying? Things written of the past times was for our learning. Things written before was for our learning. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. These outlandish women even caused King Solomon to sin. Now, it was a sin for dealing with those outlandish women. Now they even caused him to sin. So he wasn't even strong enough, you know what I'm saying, to not follow their customs, to not, you know what I'm saying, partake in their practices. And he was King Solomon. Who are you? Who are you? Y'all out on this post I made, posting y'all pictures of y'all. Oh man, y'all should look at some of these pictures they posted on this damn. Over 7,000 comments, and it's mostly pictures of interracial couples, and most of them are ugly as can be. Straight filthy. Filthy. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's go to verse 27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil? So listen, interracial relationships is literally a great evil. But let's continue. To transgress against our God in marrying strange wives. It is literally a transgression. You are literally breaking God's laws in marrying strange wives. Not marrying somebody that's of a different religion. That was another excuse I heard y'all nuts say. Y'all said it was because of didn't want no interbelief or whatever y'all calling it. No interbelief or whatever. But it says right here, the transgression against our God is in marrying strange wives. That's the transgression. Interracial relationships is the transgression. How hard is that to understand? Are you confused by it? If you have any questions, if you need clarity, that's what we're here for. We're here for Black, Hispanic, and Natives to get clear what this law is saying. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to another thing that y'all brought up. See, the Bible that we use is the King James Version 1611, if y'all didn't know. And in the 1611, right, there are books that the Catholic Church took out. You know what I'm saying? The Catholic Church took out certain books, and we about to get into some of these books today. And those collection of books, you could Google them. Those collection of books is called the Apocrypha. These books were in the original translation of the Bible from Greek and Hebrew into English. Why were these books taken out? Because the simple fact is the Catholic Church wants to cause confusion by making you think there's a difference between the Old Testament and the New. There's no difference between the Old Testament and the New. It's all the same. You know what I'm saying? It's literally all the same. A lot of people would like to deny that, but it literally is all the same. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. You could Google it. I typed it up there. You could Google it and read along. You know what I'm saying? Google it, read along. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, sis. But Google it. Tobit. We want to read it now. If you're there, follow along with me. Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife. See, interracial relationship is literally a form of whoredom. Interracial relationship is literally a form of whoredom. You're supposed to be taking a wife of thy own nation, of thy own seed, of thy own stock. You know what I'm saying? Of thy own stock. What does a white woman have for you? What can she possibly give you? Potato salad with raisins in it? When you come from a day of oppression at work, how can she ease that pain from you? When she comes from a day of oppression at work, how can you ease that pain from her? You know what I'm saying? Interracial relationship is nothing but a ball of confusion, and there's nothing there for each other. You're looking at your spouse and just thinking of all the times they oppressed your people. You have situations that go on in the world, right? Situations that go on in the world with like the George Floyd situation or the Breonna Taylor situation, and you're looking at your spouse and how that conversation going, how that conversation work. Tell me, how does that conversation work when you seeing a man, a black man, who literally is being choked to death slowly by the knee of a white man on the back of his neck? Or how does that conversation go when a sister who's minding her business at home gets raided by the police and gets shot up? How does that conversation go? Or how does it go when a little kid, a little black kid is playing in the playground with a toy gun like normal kids do, and the cops roll up on him? As soon as they hop out the car, they shoot. Literally shoot. Less than 2 seconds. A 12-year-old kid. How does that conversation go? You're producing with this person, you're producing kids, and you see this happening, and how does that conversation go? Put it like this. It won't go well. It won't go well. And a lot of animosity will be built amongst y'all. Guaranteed. Unless the black, Hispanic, and Native person of that relationship is just that much of a sellout. Hate their people just that much. It's possible. It's fully possible. I see it every day. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. See, sisters, like Serena Williams about to understand this scripture real soon. She about to understand it well. All that wealth she amassed, you know what I'm saying? She could do good for the black community. But when she's dead and gone, all that wealth she amassed is going to our oppressors. It's literally going to our enemies. Literally. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Now therefore, my son, love thy brother, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren. See, this law is to show love for each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. The sons and daughters of thy people. Love them too. Love the sons and daughters of your people. And not taking the wife of them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't take a wife of your brother, I mean, you're literally telling them that your daughter's not good enough for me. You're literally telling that these women of Israel is not good enough for you, which is telling you that you pretty much hate yourself, because you're saying you're not good enough for you. And you're saying the brothers of your nation, when you get a daughter, their sons will not be good enough to marry their daughters. You're literally rejecting your own people. You're really rejecting your own race, your own nation. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're literally doing. Rejecting. But let's continue. And despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble. You thinking that you too good for them. You got a whole world coming to you. You think that Caucasian woman will actually love you? Think that Asian woman will love you? Think that Arabic woman will love you, or East Indian woman will love you? Let me tell you something. You are literally just their pet. You are literally just their pet. Arm candy. Little bracelet. Little something that they can brag about to their girlfriends. They don't really care about you. The truth is, you don't really care about them either. They're a status symbol for you too. That's all it really is, a status symbol. You know what I'm saying? And you're literally disgracing your people. And you really are despising your nation by doing such things. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine. Keep on doing what you do. You're gonna catch it all. You're gonna be a little bit lonely out here. You're gonna have a few problems. You're gonna be hurt up. You're gonna be hurt up. But we're gonna stay in the no. Let's go into the Bible a bit. Let's go back to the Old Testament. Alright, we're going to go through Ezra, chapter 9, 1 through 3. I know this might hurt some of y'all. Y'all feelings might be hurt. Y'all might not understand it. But guess what? Most of y'all that's on there that's doing all these dumb comments is not even for you. This ain't even for you. You know what I'm saying? This is for the Black, Hispanic, and Native people only. That's all it's for. Shalom, sis. Shalom. That's all it's for. But let's get with it. You know what I'm saying? Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land. And that's what us in the ISUPK been telling the people to do. We got to separate from the people of these lands. We got to separate. And I ain't talking about literally leaving. That's not going to do it. That don't cut it. Because the level of Stockholm Syndrome on Black, Hispanic, and Native people, physically separation ain't going to cut it. You got to spiritually separate. You got to literally spiritually separate. You can't partake in their holidays. You can't partake in their culture. You can't partake in their voting system. You can't partake in them. So he's trying to tell that the people have not separated. And that's what we got to tell the Most High, is that our people is not separating. We're trying to tell them. We're trying to tell them to separate, but they ain't separating. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in class, tell me what's the precept to that. Tell me what's a precept. It's a UPK bedrock. Let's see if y'all know. It's a UPK bedrock. Where that? See if y'all know this one. What scripture is a precept to separating from our enemies? Wrong, Timmy. That is not a precept. But I don't expect you to understand because I doubt you are of Israel. So it'd be appreciated if your dumb self just walk on out. If you're not black, Hispanic, or native, I wouldn't expect you to understand it. But the answer is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. You know what I'm saying? That's one precept I like. Or you could go to Deuteronomy 7 and 6. That's another one that tells us to separate. The Bible is all about separation. That's what the Christian church is not telling y'all. The Bible is not about unity. It's not about holding hands. It's not about kumbayaing with other nations. It's not about that. Khan says, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, Khan. It's not about kumbayaing with our enemies. The Bible's never been about that. It's always been about separation. And it says that both in the Old and New Testament. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Doing according to their abominations. We were doing according to their abominations like we're doing now. We were doing the same thing we were doing then, we are doing today. We are around these people and we refuse to separate from these people, and we're keeping their customs. We're practicing all types of abominations with these people. Just like we're doing today. You know what I'm saying? You had all these tragedies happen to black people, and guess what? As soon as 4th of July came around, what are they doing? Wearing red, white, and blue and waving the flag and popping firecrackers and being proud Americans. That's what they did. It went back on the 5th talking about Black Lives Matter. Literally, the next day. They acting like they wasn't a hypocrite the day before. Don't worry, they're going to be doing it again on Memorial Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and all that other stuff. They're going to still be doing it. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Even the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves. You have taken the daughters of these nasty people, these heathens, these evil, wicked people that will tell you all types of wickedness, that will literally tell you that they hate you to your face. Return the favor. Separate from them. You know what I'm saying? Don't take them to be your wives. They're not good enough. What can they do? They don't even season their food, man. They don't even season their food. What can they possibly do for you? You think she could relate to your pain as a black man or a black woman? You think they could relate to your pain? Like every black woman, they felt when George Floyd called for his mama. Every black woman on that planet felt that. Every black man on the planet heard him and related. You think they could understand that? Do you think they can understand that pain? Especially knowing that it won't happen for them. They will never be in that seat. They will never wear those shoes. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Verse 2. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Israel is a holy seed. Us black, Hispanic, and Native people, we are a holy seed. We are supposed to be separate. Our seed ain't supposed to be mingling with them. Black, Hispanic, and Native man, you're not supposed to be dealing with these other nations, man. Point blank, period. Dealing with them is going to be nothing but your downfall. Look at Kanye West. Kanye West is a ball of confusion, man. He don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Look at Tiger Woods. My man got beaten across the head with a couple of golf clubs, ran his car into a tree, and his golf stroke hasn't been the same since. Look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, man, I don't know what that was he was laying with, but they claim it's a woman. And that beast literally got him doing years in jail. You know what I'm saying? Over something that happened years ago. And on top of that, you know what I'm saying? He's like old as can be and he's still going to jail. Let me show you how racist this world is. There's a lady called Carolyn Dunham. I don't know if y'all know who Carolyn Dunham is, but she lied on a young black man and said he was whistling at her, trying to hit on her and stuff. And that young black man was Emmett Till. Now, she lied on Emmett Till and said that he was whistling and trying to, kick it to her. Whatever, so forth and so on. And guess what happened? Those white men loving their own women so much kidnapped Emmett Till, beat him up, tortured him, maimed him. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what other hells they did to him. But his face was not recognizable. His mother left an open casket. There's pictures on the internet of Emmett Till in his casket today. That's how disgusting of a people we're dealing with. They didn't want no justice. In their head, they were just protecting their white princess. And look what that white princess did. Her tears killed a black man. When a white woman cries, a black man dies. And she is still alive, walking around. And back, I think in about 2017, she was on her so-called deathbed, but she overcame it, and she admitted it. If she wasn't on that so-called deathbed, if she wasn't having such an experience, would she have came out with that truth? No. But they literally killed that young boy. And that's the type of people y'all want to marry? You kicking it to a white girl, you could be the next Emmett Till. You trying to kick it to her. White women literally have a history of calling rape on black men unjustly. It's literally a history. It's literally their claim to fame. It's literally what they're known for doing. It's calling rape on black men who hasn't even looked at them. How you think Rosewood got burnt down? Rosewood got burnt down because of a white woman lying, talking about she was sleeping with a man, a black man from the community of Rosewood, which was a black community, because she got caught out there. And the truth is, it was another white man. It was another white man that was breaking her back, and because of her lying, a whole black community got burnt down. And these are the type of people you want to marry. These are the type of people you love. People who just rather have you dead. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Yeah, the hand of the princes and rulers has been chief in this trespass. See, it's our princes and rulers, the men of high esteem, aka Nephilims, aka giants of our community. that was partaking and having sex with the daughters of men, which is why the flood happened. These were men of great stature, tyrants and bullies. These men had reputations. And if you look up Nephilim in its purest form of the Hebrew, it literally just means tyrant or bully. It doesn't mean giant, it doesn't mean angel, or whatever other nonsense y'all like to believe. So the sons of man is literally just men of high stature. The sons of God is just men of high stature. It's not a Nephilim or a giant as y'all like to say. It's not that at all. But let's continue. Have been chief in this trespass is them. It's the Kanye Wests. It's the Serena Williams. It's the popular rich people like Martin Luther King that is having sex outside of their race. It's them. It's them that's breaking God's laws. But let's continue. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment. Now this prophet, Esdras, ripped his garment when he heard that we were breaking such a law. He ripped his garment when he heard that we were breaking the law of just loving our own people. He ripped his garment. Let's hear what else he did. And his mantle, and plucked off the hairs of his head and of his beard, and sat down astounded. He was in shock. He was literally in shock. You know what I'm saying? He was in shock. Literally. That we are going back to breaking God's law. But let's continue. Which thou hast commanded by thy servants, the prophets, saying, the land unto which ye go to possess is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of that land, with their abominations, which have filled it from one end to another with their uncleanness. That's like America. America's unclean from California to the tip of Cape Cod. It is unclean. And it's unclean because of these heathens, because of these so-called oppressors, because of the white man, because of our enemy. This land is unclean because it's filled with abominations, it's filled with idols, it's filled with homosexuality, it's filled with all types of sin, interracial relationships, crab, pork, shrimp, lobsters. It's filthy. This land is filthy. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons. Because this, hey Pete, don't give your daughters unto their sons. The law's still there. It's still the same. Do not give your daughters unto their sons. It's just that simple. Just that simple. Let's continue. Neither take their daughter unto your sons, nor seek their peace. Look, arranged marriages was a way to seek peace between feuding families. We're not supposed to be even seeking their peace. Never mind marrying them. We're not even supposed to be seeking peace with them. So what you and your so-called allies doing, marching, talking about Black Lives Matter, what are y'all marching for? We're not even supposed to be seeking their peace. We're supposed to be looking for war. Because equality don't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. It's not real. There's not two things on this planet that is equal. Not two. You know what I'm saying? So you seeking their peace. But let's continue. Or their wealth forever. You just want to be like them. You're stuck with Stockholm Syndrome so bad. You just want to be anything like your oppressor. You want to be anything like your enemy. You want to be just like them. and it's an abomination to the Most High, and it's a shame unto your nation. It is a shame. You trying to seek peace within, that's what you're marrying them for. That's why y'all posted all those pictures on that. Y'all posted those pictures and look like, hey, it's a beautiful thing. No, it's not. It's not. It's not a beautiful thing. It is disgusting that you are literally now their pet. It is disgusting. You thinking that you're better off with them than your own, than suffering down in the bottom, down here with your own people. You think you're doing better now. You think you're doing better because you got a little snow dog next to you. You got yourself a little snow dog and you think you're doing better. But you're only doing as good as your people are. Even Holly Berry came out not too long ago that her ex-husband used to call her the N-word quite often. Quite often. And these are the type of people you want to marry. These are the people you want to marry. It's guaranteed they're going to call you the N-word. You should expect it. They're your enemy. Every time you see a Caucasian, you should be expecting them to call you the N-word. You see an African, you should be expecting them to call you an Akata. You see any other nation, you should be expecting to have a proverb and a byword on deck for you. You should expect it. Khan says you'll never be better than the next. Darn right, sis. You'll never be better than the next. You being with them, you're in the same position as the rest of us. You just got an enemy that you sleep next to, which makes it easier for you to die. Sleeping next to the enemy is not a wise thing to do. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong. See, this is how we get strong. See, that's why we're not strong now, because we got this Stockholm syndrome. And that's why y'all looking weak out there, because we literally depend on them. We literally depend on them. Everything we do is dependent on them. And we accept it and love it. That's the problem with us as a people. We accept this and love this, not knowing that they literally are really just shaming us. They will fight tooth and nail to make sure we are underneath their boot. They will tell you the sweetest words. If that don't work, they would scare you into doing it. Literally. Logan, we call each other the N-word because we're a little wiser than that. It's something that we have as a people, is we have a skill of turning lemons into lemonade. We have a skill of turning something negative to something positive. That's our skill. Listen, I'm not saying they can't say it. This whole language is their language. They just better not say it around me. They better not say it around me. This language is their language. They can say it all they want. Expect them to say it. Just don't say it around me. Say it around me, there's going to be a problem. But yes, we call each other that all the time, but we do it. We put a slang to it. It don't even mean the same thing. You know, when they say it, it's a noun and only a noun. When we say it, we turn it into adjectives, proverbs. You know what I'm saying? We turn it into pronouns. We put salt into everything. Everything gets flavor. When we touch it, it has flavor. You know what I'm saying? That's why we call each other the N-word. That don't give them the right to disrespect us. But the thing is, you should expect them to disrespect us because they are literally your enemy. The Bible says, never trust thine enemies. For as sure as iron rusteth, they will show their wickedness. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. They will show their wickedness. That's like Holly Berry's husband guaranteed and showed his wickedness. You know what I'm saying? He even told her that he wished her child wasn't half black. I ain't mad at that. Me personally, I'm not mad at that, but in our view, it's not a half black child. You are of the seed of your father. That child is purely Caucasian. It might got a little tan to it, but it's still purely Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. Right now, because we love our enemies so much and we depend on them so much, we can't leave our children nothing but bills. That's all we can leave our kids is bills. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna stay in Ezra. Go to the next chapter. We're gonna start with 2 through 5, 10 through 11. We'll probably end with 19. Alright, I popped that down there. Now let's get with it. Give y'all a couple seconds to catch up. If you don't know where that is, that's in the Old Testament too. Give y'all a couple seconds, just the next chapter over. And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam. Y'all know who Elam is, right? Elam is the East Indians. But let's continue. Answered and said unto Ezra. No. That doesn't say Elam, that says Elam. Oh, okay. Answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed our God and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. So he's telling them straight up and down, we have taken strange wives of the people of the land. What does that mean? What is a strange wife? Well, it's a woman of the people of the land. These are people that's outside of my nation. We have taken wives of people that is not of our nation. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have done. So he's telling this. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. We have trespassed against our God and have taken. That's the trespass. I know it hurts some of y'all feelings, but that's literally the trespass, was taking wives that was not of our nation. But let's continue. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives. Now there's hope. There's hope. And the hope is to put away these wives. Get rid of them. Kick them out. That was their hope. Write a letter of divorcement. Have no dealings with her. That was the hope, but let's read. You know what I'm saying? Slack, I went up too high. And put away all the wives, and such as are born of them. Not just the wives, but the kids were kicked out too. But let's continue. According to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our power. For the men, this is the counsel that he received from the men that are actually law-abiding citizens of God, was to get rid of the woman and the children. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And let it be done according to the law. Arise, for this matter belongeth unto thee. We also will be with thee. Be of good courage and do it. So he's telling them, yeah, let's go with it. We will be there to help you out with it. We're going to help you get this moving. You know what I'm saying? Then arose Ezra and made the chief priests and Levites and all Israel to swear that they should do according to this word, and they swear. So they all agreed. They all agreed. The Bible I'm reading is the 1611, the King James Version. And I'm in the book of Ezra. I typed it up, the comment right above you. We're in Ezra 10. I'm on verse 5 right now. I'm on verse 5 right now. This is it's considered the Old Testament. Ezra is considered the Old Testament. It shouldn't be hard to find. But check it. We're going to read that back. To swear, and they should do according to this word, and they swear. They agreed. They did. They said we're going to get rid of them. Let's drop down to 10. And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed, and have taken have taken strange wives. Remember what we said. Strange wives are people of this that's not of your people. So they did it again. You know what I'm saying? They didn't keep their word. Let's continue. And have taken strange wives to increase the trespass of Israel. They have increased. I mean, we broke the law plenty, and they are not helping the situation. Just like Kanye's not helping the situation. Just like, you know what I'm saying, Serena's not helping the situation. They're not helping the situation. You know what I'm saying? Now therefore, verse 11, now therefore make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure. What is God's pleasure? Do y'all know what God's pleasure is? Do you know what God's pleasure is? Let me tell you what God's pleasure is. God's pleasure is us following his law. That's what he is pleased by. Just like any father is pleased when his son does what he tells him to do. You tell your son to get good grades, he comes back with a good report card, you are pleased. You are pleased. But let's continue. Hold on. Fathers, and separate yourselves. Hold on, let me start from the top of 11. Now therefore make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land, and from the strange wives. That's all we doing. How hard is it to separate yourself from these people? How hard is it to not to follow in their customs and practices? How hard is it to not take their daughters unto your wives? How hard is it not to take their sons as your husband, sister? How hard is that? You know what I'm saying? That's not hard at all. But let's drop down to 17. And they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives by the first day of the month. So they handled their business. You know what I'm saying? The situation was taken care of. All the men that had strange wives, they got rid of them. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of them. That don't mean you can do it now. The Most High got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because believe me, these heathen women, they cannot be trusted. They would do something to cause you to leave her anyway. They will be sleeping with another man in the moment. You come with this knowledge, you come with this way of thinking, they will not stay with you very long. But let's go. And they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives by the first day of the month. And among the sons of the priests there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the sons of Jeshua, the sons of Josedek, and his brethren, Maaseiah, and Eliezer, and Jerib, and Gedaliah, and they gave their hands, and they put away their wives, and being guilty, they offered a ram of the flock for their trespass. So they did a animal offering, you know what I'm saying? A trespass offering for their sins. But that didn't mean nothing. Let's be honest, the Most High don't care about your sacrifices. He wants your obedience. He don't want your sacrifice. He wants your obedience. He wants you to follow his laws. His laws is what he gets pleasure out of. You following his laws pleases him. You giving him an animal that's getting burnt up, no, that don't please him. That don't please him at all. But let's go to let's switch it up a bit. Let's go to Judges. We're in the book of Judges now. I want to give y'all some time to get there. Give y'all a couple of seconds. Give y'all another example when it was a bad idea to be marrying women that are not Black, Hispanic, and Native. Remember, the law was only given to Black, Hispanic, and Native people. It was only given unto them. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Judges chapter 3, verse 6. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to be their sons, and served their gods. That's the problem with us. We're too weak. We're weak as can be. About as weak as it gets. We stay breaking God's law. But let's continue. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. See? Taking these strange people to marry is evil in the sight of the Lord. It's evil. I know y'all like to deny it. I know y'all like to fight it. But no, it literally says it's evil. That's what it just said. Well, let's continue. And forgate the Lord their God. They forgot the Lord our God and served Baalim and the groves, and we served false idols. Therefore the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them. Now peep it. What was the anger of the Lord? Hold on. Let me continue. We ain't going to get there yet. And he sold them into the hands of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Cushan-Rishathaim 8 years. So look, just cause, now the flood was one thing. The flood was caused because of interracial relationships. Now Israel is going into captivity because of interracial relationships. We served the king of Mesopotamia 8 years because we took their daughters for wives and gave our daughters to be their wives. Having interracial relationship caused us to get back into captivity, which is why we still ain't out of this captivity, because we don't want to stop those things. The Stockholm syndrome is too strong on us. The Stockholm syndrome got us having a problem separating from our enemy. Y'all do know what Stockholm syndrome is, right? Every Black, Hispanic, and Native man and woman and child has Stockholm syndrome. All of us have it. We literally can't part away from our oppressor, from our captor. We literally sympathize with him. We feel sorry for him. We blame ourselves. Nah, not us in ISUPK though. Not us in the ISUPK. We don't blame ourselves. We blame him for everything. I stubbed my toe. I'm blaming the white man. Literally, I stubbed my toe. I'm blaming the white man. Literally. I bite my tongue. I'm blaming the white man. Too hot. I'm blaming the white man. It's too cold. I'm blaming the white man. He been getting away scot-free with all types of murder for so long. You got to get blamed for something. Maybe something will stick. Maybe something will. But let's continue. No, let's go to 1 Kings 11. I got that there for you. 1 Kings. Give y'all a couple seconds to get there. All right, 1 King 11. Now remember, when we read earlier in Nehemiah, Nehemiah brought out the fact that King Solomon's sin was having interracial relationships. You know what I'm saying? That was King Solomon's sin. A lot of great men in the scriptures sinned. You know what I'm saying? Even Moses sinned. But guess what? That doesn't take away from what they have done. It doesn't take away from the law. It doesn't take away from nothing. But let's continue. 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women. King Solomon loved many strange women. And we already stated what strange women are. Strange women are women that are not of your nation. You don't know them. You don't know what type of character they are. You know, you don't know how they were raised. You don't know their background. You get with a white woman, a horse probably was there right before you got there. You get with an Asian, you kissing her, and she probably ate all types of dog and cat. You don't know them. You don't know their behaviors. So they are strange. They are strange to the black man and black woman. Those people are just strange to us. But let's continue. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh. We know who the daughters of Pharaoh were. Those were Egyptians. Women of Moab. Those are the Chinese. Ammonites. Japanese. Edomites. Edomites are the Caucasian people. Yes, King Solomon had white women. Zidonians and Hittites. Those are Africans. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them. The Lord already commanded us not to go into them. We already read that in Deuteronomy. The Lord said don't go unto them. You know what I'm saying? Neither shall they come in unto you. They shall not be a part of our family either. Nah, they stay over there. We are completely separate. The word holy, as it said in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, we got to be holy. We are holy people. The word holy literally means to be set apart, to be separate. Yes, the Bible is a book of segregation. That's what the Bible is about. It's about segregation from the beginning to the end. When they talk about separating the sheep from the goats, that's a separation scripture. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. See, for sure, that's a guarantee. That's the effect. That's why they did it. They definitely will turn your heart away from God. It is a guaranteed thing. And that's why King Solomon ended up going nuts, following gods of other nations, all of them. He'd follow all of them, trying to make them all make sense. Nah, you can't make them make sense. That's what that dummy Farrakhan's trying to do now too. Farrakhan's like a Scientologist, is Muslim, Christian, and Jewish at the same time. Farrakhan is a nut. Farrakhan is an absolute nut. But let's continue. Verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his God. So Most High seen his flaw. Most High seen it. He's seen it. And now Solomon is no longer perfect. He's not on good standards with the Most High no more. So all that wisdom that he gave him, all that knowledge and wisdom was taken away. And he started going mad. But let's continue. Let's close this off. As was the heart of David his father. Yeah, King David had some flaws too. As we all do. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta strive to be perfect. We gotta follow these law, statute, commandments. It's not hard. It's easily possible. Easily. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's go back to the Apocrypha. The books that the enemy took out of the Bible. I hate when I do that. Hold on. Davion. Door.
No. What's ready? Devin.
We're going to go to 1 Esdras 8 and 69, verse 70. Right? Go to chapter 8, verse 69. Alright, it's in the Apocrypha. If you don't have the Apocrypha, if you don't have an app that gives you access to an Apocrypha, you know what I'm saying, you could just type that into your Google machine and then boom, there you go, you got it. You know what I'm saying? It'll be all right there for you. But let's continue. Let's read that. 1 Esdras chapter 8, verse 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, the Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land, which is something we're not doing today. We're not putting away the strange people. We still want to be attached to the strange people. We still want to do what they do. We want to partake in their customs and their rights and do everything they do. We want to be seen as equals to them. We want to be just like them. We want to be just like these people. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Nor the pollution of the Gentiles to wit. See, the word Gentiles against popular belief is not an insult. The word Gentiles literally just means a non-Israelite. That's all it means. It means a non-Israelite, which could be taken in two ways. Because, you know, the Bible is a book written by black people. So everything in here could be twofold because we spit slang. So you being a Gentile, you could be a Gentile by birth, or you could have a Gentile state of mind. You know what I'm saying? You spiritually acting like a Gentile. Those are two different things, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Nor the pollution of the Gentiles to wit of the Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, and the Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites, especially Edomites. Problem is, we love these Caucasians. That's our problem as a people. We have a problem letting them go. We need to let them go. We need to let them go. But let's continue. For both they and their sons have married with their daughters. Us and our sons, we are marrying with their daughters. We are literally marrying with their daughters. That's what we're doing. And it's a shame. It's disgusting. It's a violation. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And the holy seed is mixed with the strange people. Holy seed. Listen, there's no such thing as being a mixed race. You are of the seed of your father. Now, genetically, you can mix. You can genetically mix, but you can only be one race, one nationality. You can't be 2 or 3 nationalities. You can't be 2 or 3 races. You can't have 2 or 3 identities. No. You can only be of the seed of your father. Let's continue. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers, Slakia. Let me start that back. And from the beginning of this matter, the rulers and the great men have been partakers of this iniquity. The sons of God sleeping with the daughters of men. That's why the earth got flooded. Those are those Nephilims. Those are those giants. Great men of Israel have slept with the daughters of men, have been partakers in those iniquities. Those Kanye Wests, those Serena Williams, give me those Tiger Woods, those Martin Luther Kings, you know what I'm saying? Those type of people. But let's continue. That's pretty much saying the same thing. Now let's switch it up a bit. Let's go to Numbers. Let's go back to the Old Testament. Get with it. Numbers 25. If you're there, let me know. Keep up with me. All right. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman. So one of the dudes of Israel came up, and he had a Midianitish woman with him. He had a woman that wasn't of his people. You know what I'm saying? In the sight of Moses. So he brought this woman into the sight of Moses. Sees this woman. The leader of Israel at the time sees this woman. This woman is not of our people. You know what I'm saying? That's how much segregation the Bible is really about. But let's get with it. You know what I'm saying? And in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, that means everybody in the nation sees this woman that is not a part of the nation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, so basically that's Phinehas is Aaron's grandson, saw it, and he rose up from among the congregation. So he sees this. He sees this woman, this dude, this brother bringing a woman that's not of our nation. So he stands up. Let's see what he do. And took a javelin in his hand. He took a javelin. I don't know if y'all know what a javelin is, but it's like a staff with a point at the end. It got a point. He took this javelin, right? Now the dude, obviously, he sees him pick up this javelin. He's out. Him and that woman, they running. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. That's how much our people and our God is about segregation. Phineas stood up and killed that man and killed that woman right through the belly. And the woman through the belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. Yes. Interracial relationships, you heard it here first. Straight out the Bible. You heard it here first. It's a plague. It's a plague. Interracial relationship is straight up and down a plague. Y'all want to fight it. Y'all don't want to believe it. So be it. But it's a plague. The Most High God, our power, don't want us dealing with every nation out there. He only wants us dealing with each other. And think about it. What's better than a black woman? What's better than a Hispanic one? What's better than a Native American one? What's better than them? Nothing is better than them. You know what I'm saying? Nothing at all is better than them. They are top notch. They are top of the line. And when the Most High, when one of us sins against the Most High is not a respecter of persons. The whole nation will feel that fury. Not just one of us. The whole nation would feel that fury. Why you think we're number one in every disease out here? Because we're breaking the laws of God. Is all of us doing it? No. But the ones that's not doing it, yeah, we go through hell too. You know what I'm saying? Because this is about a nation. This ain't about individuals. As an individual, you ain't worth nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. And if a woman of her nation will leave her nation for you, how much can you trust her? If she will leave her customs, the way she was raised, her father, her mother, her brothers, her sisters and uncles, if she will leave her people, how can you trust her? How can you trust her? Isn't that what love's supposed to be? About trust? You can't trust her. She's willing to leave her people so quickly? Oh, she'll leave you in a heartbeat. She'll leave you in a heartbeat. And you'll be looking like Lamar Odom, strung out in a hospital, with that heathen by your side, pretending like she cared about you. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's go. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. I ain't got much more time. Let's get one more. I got so many more scriptures, though. Let's get Joshua 23:11. I'm going to end with Joshua 23:11. Let's get Joshua 23:11. Joshua chapter 23 verse 11. If you're with me, read along. If you're with me, read along. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves. Look at yourselves. Look at yourself. Take good heed unto yourselves. Observe yourself. You know what I'm saying? That ye love the Lord your God. Make sure that you love God. How do you love God? Do y'all know how to love God? Love God is not saying it. Love God is not something that you say. Loving God is something that you do. And how do you love God? Is by following his law, statutes, commandments. So look into yourself. Are you following his law, statutes, and commandments? Let's continue. Verse 12. Else if ye do, and if you do, in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations in any way, that you claim you love God and you go back and you want to hold on to these nations, You want to hold on to their ways and customs? How you going to follow the law and be lukewarm, and then all of a sudden you want to celebrate Christmas? You want to celebrate Thanksgiving, Easter, 4th of July, eat crab, shrimp, and lobster. Say homosexuality is A-OK. Love is love, which is retarded. Love is not love. Love is a duty that comes with responsibilities. You want to do all this type of stuff, how can you say you love God and cleave unto the heathens? It don't work. Well, let's continue. Even that these remain among you, and shall make marriages with them. How you gonna make marriages with them? You know what I'm saying? And go in unto them, and they to you. It's an interracial relationship. How you gonna say you love God and cleave unto them and start loving them? You don't love God if you are in an interracial relationship. You don't love them. You're cleaving onto these nations. You're cleaving onto these heathens. You don't love God. Period. But let's continue. Verse 13. Know for a certainty that the Lord, your power, let me repeat that, and know for a certainty that the Lord, your power, who's your? Black, Hispanic, and Native people. The Lord is your power. Will no more drive out any of these nations from before you. So guess what? The Most High ain't going to be having our backs anymore. Because you want to hold on to these nations so bad, you want to follow these nations instead of following the laws of the Lord. Guess what? The Lord ain't going to drive them out. You're going to be continuously oppressed by these people because you love them so much. Because of that Stockholm syndrome. You're going to be continuously oppressed by them. You know what I'm saying? But let's finish this up. But they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your power hath given you. Look, it's just that simple. You want to be hugged up and lovey-love with them, guess what? They're going to be a problem and an oppressor for you forever. Forever. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. You're just going to have a pain in your neck forever. They're going to be killing you forever. They're going to be a thorn in your side forever. They're going to be a little crumb in your eye. They're going to be nothing but an agitation and aggravation, and it's going to be hell for you. It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell. But you love them now. You love them. But that's my time. I'm Priest and Officer Rakar Ariyah of the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. This is my time. You know what I'm saying? If you're interested in being a member of the school, getting all black, black shirt, black pants, black headpiece, you know what I'm saying? But most importantly, we got a rule for new brothers and sisters. When you come into the school, you're off limits for 6 months. Nobody could holler at you, talk to you, or anything. You are here to shed yourselves of the world. You know what I'm saying? And once you settle yourself in the world, you find an interest in a particular person, you got to go to that person's head and request, you know what I'm saying, a courtship. Once that courtship is granted, y'all will court for 6 months. And then after that courting, you ask for permission to marry. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, if the permission is granted, you get married. Bang, bang. Definitely just don't marry no heathen. Don't marry no heathen.